Hello, everybody, and welcome to PitchShift, the podcast where sanity comes to die.
It was already hobbling in on the door over here.
So, my name is Andy Spence, and this is Steve Garcia.
Fuck you. He's gonna cut to that fucking picture of me on the fucking news.
Just every time.
It's not Steve Garcia, it's Steve Rodriguez.
And this is a podcast where we pitch the worst movies never made.
And hopefully it never will be.
Yeah, this is just our spiral into insanity.
Got a good head start last time.
I completely forgot that I also had to pull up a timer, so I'm going to do that. And since this is an old-ass computer, this is going to take a little bit. So do you want to just start this off by really quickly addressing the controversy with our first episode, in that we never actually fucking talked about what we were supposed to talk about, which, I mean, that was kind of the joke of the first episode. But
yeah, idiots.
You don't get our avant-garde humor.
Yeah, fuck you.
But there was just one thing I did want to say about Rise of the Planet of the Gators, and you and me talked about this earlier, and that was that I believe that there would be one very terrifying thing about a potential Rise of the Planet of the Apes alligator scenario, and that's if they figured out how to fire guns by just like putting them in their teeth, like the triggers, and then just chomping down and sort of blind firing. That'd be terrifying. Like, an alligator's running at you is already terrifying to begin with, but now it's shooting bullets from its mouth.
Yeah, dude, like, they don't have the appendages to do so. And I kind of bounced off of that, and I was like, imagine, like, those, like, old-ass fireplace bellows, and you just fill it full of buckshot and, like, force the fucking alligator just run sprinting at you, just buckshot fucking firing off on all cylinders, man.
They go all buckshotsky with it.
Oh, yeah, another deep lore. That's the movie we should pitch later.
Buckshotsky
It's just a
Origins?
Fuck yeah, dude. It's just a movie we came up with, like, as we always do. We just, in my basement, just stoned, fucking crossfaded out of our minds.
Yeah, you should explain Buckshotsky to the masses.
Fuck yeah, man. Okay, so as per many of our ideas, where we just start off being fucking crazy people, Andy just like there was like a dead silence for like 20 minutes. We were all drained, and you're like, what if a guy has shotguns for legs? And then I don't remember who coined the term, but it was Buckshotsky.
I believe it was Mike.
It was probably Mike. Yeah, shout outs to Mikey B, dude. Wherever he may be.
If you're listening to this,
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yeah.
And, please come on.
Come on the show.
Yeah, come on the show and just upstage us, because you're a little bit funnier than us. So...
Who isn't?
Yeah, right? So,
like Carlos Mencia. Let's give ourselves that.
Yeah, at least we're not fucking hacks, dude. Hey, Carlos Mencia, fuck you.
We're a different kind of hack.
Yeah, I'm a different kind of Hispanic. I'm Steve Garcia.
I'm built different.
I'm Baba Ganoush, man. So we're just sitting around shooting this shit about Buckshotsky, haha. And we're imagining that he propels himself, just like walking really fast, like by firing the guns off of his legs, those like rocket propellers. And he just is like because he's a loose cannon, he gets kicked off the force. It's like, all right, Buckshotsky, you're off the force. Hand in your guns and your badge. And he just like rips off his legs and like hobbles out on a skateboard. Just a little torso man just rolling on a skateboard on his like fucking hands.
No, my mic fell off.
Oh no.
It's okay. I'm just gonna put this cord in here. See, like, you have a mic with like a nice little clip, and this one is just this old school style, like fucking like just like tie clip almost. I fucking hate it. If you're not wearing like a shirt like that, it's a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, fucking A, man. You should get like a clothespin or something. We're off to a rollicking good start, as you can see.
I think I'm just gonna buy another one of those because they're like $20. I got the like Best Buy.
Yeah, dude. What was that other pitch we had? We were just fucking stoned in like midday day drinking, and you're just like, what if Freddy Krueger was a Jehovah's Witness? And I'm imagining like Freddy Krueger dressed like a fucking Jehovah's Witness going up to your door. You have like a screen door on your porch, and then he's like, "Sir," and he's like you're looking through the blinds. It's like broad daylight. It's like, oh shit. You just run into the back of your house, like lock the door, and he's like, "Sir," and he's just like, but you leave like the storm door open, and he just claws his way through like the screen door, and like he runs up to your room, and like you have your back to him, and you're like this, and he's just like tapping you on the fucking shoulder with his blades, like, sir, and like tendons and viscera just flying everywhere, and you're just like still not trying to pay him attention, but like you're just internally going,
Freddy, he's very devout, and he's really truly carrying out God's mission, just going door to door and eviscerating people, but politely.
Oh, absolutely. He's killing them with kindness, as they say. He's like, welcome to prime time, bitch. I love you, bitch.
Did you see that fucking, have you ever seen that fucking post? You'll see a lot on Boomer Facebook where it's just like...
Minions?
Yeah, well, there's probably, someone's probably done this in fucking minion format. It's always the same. It's like, oh, I believe you should kill people with kindness. I got a machete and I named it kindness.
Yeah.
I'm so quirky, I want to murder people.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, just like minions with like the fucking one in the thong.
Well, there's that fucking one. Oh god, we need to combine two minion memes. Just put the one in the thong, but the text is just gonna be the one that says it's like coffee because murder is illegal
and
or
then
whatever.
Coffee because I committed war crimes in Darfur. And then like in the little corner there's like a watermark of like Otis the cow like photoshopped as like a stormtrooper, and it says XD.
Perhaps. Okay.
We gotta get Nick Harbeck on the podcast.
We gotta get Nick Offerman on the podcast.
We got a Nick Offerman myself.
But okay, so that was a little bit of fun. How long was that? That was 7 minutes of your life you don't get back.
Oh shit, we got a long way to go.
Do you want to get started on our first official pitch? Because I guess
it's an actual pitch.
Yeah, because we're actually talking about it, so I'm just saving it for the next episode. Don't get us wrong. We could ramble that much. we could do this. We could, in theory, create an entire series of podcasts where the joke is that we're still trying to get to that first thing that we were supposed to be talking about.
Yeah. My buddy Kenny messaged me earlier, and he mentioned that. Hold on, let me pull up this fucking message real quick. Cause I'm also gonna pull up because I asked Andy to bring the whiteboard over. I said I could stop at Michael's or some shit to get it, and then Andy's like, yeah, he's pulling it out for proof. He's gonna be pulling something else out too. So we might have to edit that out. But yeah. He's what the hell did I wrote fuck yeah, there it is, check it out. Oh wait,
I brought 2 of these.
Yeah.
And do you want to explain why we didn't end up using them, Steve?
Because you forgot the fucking markers at home.
Yes. I don't even know if I have any. I gotta check.
There's no time. So anyway, so again, shout out to my boy Kenny. Kenny G, he plays the skin flute. No, not that Kenny, the cool Kenny. He's like, his coworker's like, the next podcast episode should be, because our last episode was episode 0. This one should be 0.1, then 0.2. And by the time we get to actual 1 proper, it's just going to skip straight to 2. But yeah, thank you, Kenny, and thank you, Sawyer, for your ideas. It's going to be any better than anything we fucking bring up on here. But yeah, no, so instead of writing on the fucking whiteboard, I was initially going to say fucking and just write it in Sharpie, but I ended up writing it on the fucking box that I still haven't unpacked since I moved in here in like January.
The box of 50, was a box 4, 56-piece dinerware set?
Yeah, thanks Walmart. And then like Great American Standard right underneath. Hey, today's sponsors, Mayfair Home and American Standard. Shout outs to them. Go to americanstandard.com/pitchshift to get your first order of dishware off, like 20% off. Mostly because they're all going to be broken. So today's episode, or the first half of today's episode anyway, is we're where you know we all love the X-Men movies, right?
Oh yeah, the classics. X-Men directed by a sex criminal. X-Men 2 directed by a sex criminal. X-Men 3 directed by a different sex criminal.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I can't, and then everyone's all shocked that like Harvey Weinstein turns out to be a fucking weirdo, and Jeffrey Epstein.
The fact that anybody in fucking Hollywood, like everyone's like, oh, I can't believe this person like turned out to be a piece of shit. It's like people just start giving you money and stop looking you in the eye. It's a miracle anybody in Hollywood can be fucking any close to normal.
Yeah, but enough about Dan Schneider.
Yeah.
We already talked about him in the last episode, so let's move on to a different sex criminal. But we already talked about Bryan Singer. So, okay. So I hadn't seen, like, Apocalypse Onward. Like, the last one I saw was, like, maybe...
It's okay. You maybe watched a portion of my video on it, which is probably just walking through the whole movie anyway. I don't remember. I haven't watched it in a while.
I don't think anyone that was involved in anything going forward from like Days of Future Past was paying attention either. So don't beat yourself up.
I mean, that's the whole thing I fucking talk about in that video. I would say go watch it, but I can't in good conscience recommend anybody watch anything I make. Unless it's the segments from this podcast that I put on my YouTube channel. Go check that out.
Yeah, when it's edited down for all our anti-Semitic rants.
Yes, so you have to trim out.
Yeah, like the last episode was like actually 2 hours, but then you just went on like a 45-minute rant about how Hitler really didn't do that much wrong.
Yeah, it was, you know, it's something I feel very passionate about, and I'm going to stop talking before I give the FBI any more evidence to just build against me. Just like cut this out. It's like, he said this, and I'm like, but context.
What context?
It was a joke.
Andy Spence, Stormfront simp. You heard it here first. Check out our boys spoiler cast next time. But yeah, so X-Men movies, right? We all grew up with them. We love them. Shout outs to David Hayter for writing the first two. Thank you, Solid Snake.
Yeah, that's so, like, it's just, that man's had an interesting career.
Yeah, right? He voiced Snake for like forever, and then fucking... he gets just kicked off without even being told. And then I remember David Hayter was being interviewed by someone, and he's like, what would you say to Hideo Kojima right now? He's like, I tell him to go fuck himself. Because then he just kicks him off, and then like he brings in fucking Mr. Hollywood, Kiefer Sutherland. We were talking about fucking that one show that Kiefer Sutherland was in where like everyone in the White House dies.
Designated Survivor. It should have just been called the one where everybody in the White House dies.
Yeah, Designated Driver. So if you're making sure that Kiefer Sutherland's Designated Driver, you're in for a great time. It's better than Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson would beat up a car.
So we are officially pitching X-Men: The Parent Trap. It's not a crossover. I mean, it could be. We could get Lindsay Lohan to play Jean Grey.
She's not doing anything.
Yeah, we could get her to play Jean Grey or something, like post-Phoenix. How she just dies again.
He just comes back as someone else.
So, all right, we're creating an X-Men movie because like how many times have the X-Men movies been rebooted? But like within the same movie, it's been rebooted like 3 times, right?
One of the movies was a reboot of itself. It's like I don't fucking know.
Who cares? They don't care. I don't care. So.
Yeah, that was a part in the video. I think I say they didn't care. Nobody cared. The director didn't care. He was busy off molesting underage extras.
But again, we gotta stop talking about Dan Schneider. We gotta stop like putting his dick out of our mouths.
The way things are going, we gotta stop talking about anybody in Hollywood. We're gonna wind up in a fucking river.
Yeah, we're just gonna get sued for fucking libel. So tune in next week for our all Dan Schneider Power Hour.
Tune in next week where Jared Leto's gonna be reading his deposition of us.
So we're assembling an X-Men team featuring the absolute most dog shit fucking mutants. Of like the 5,000 mutants, we've picked the best ones. We got about 7 or 8 here. So let's start off with Skin. So, okay, so we all know...
Skin!
It's the good skin.
That's the enthusiasm I have for Skin. My cousin has had to ask me at one point, why do you talk about Skin so much? Like anytime he brings up the X-Men, I'm like, yeah, like Skin. And he's like, why do you mention Skin so much? And I'm like, because Skin is the best fucking X-Men. He's the best character. Now I'm a big fan of Apocalypse and that whole like era in the comics and stuff like that. And that's why I'm really pissed off that the movie fucking botched him that bad. It's like, here's this cool villain and here's a fucking prune. Just look at that. But fucking...
I hate to cut you off, but basically for those that don't know, you can fucking Google Google it in your own time, unless we put like a visual up for the viewers, for the thousands in attendance and the millions around the world. But Skin basically looks like if Michael Jackson fucked Eddie from Iron Maiden. And he's you know, Mr. Fantastic's whole thing is that he's a really smart guy, but like he's got a really dumb fucking power. Well, Skin's got a really dumb power, which is essentially like the same power, but he's also a fucking idiot.
he's a moron. He's got just long, creepy fingers. So like Steve said, his power is that he's Mr. Fantastic. But could you imagine how much cooler Mr. Fantastic would be if he just always had that amount of skin just on him, like fucking Fat Bastard at the end of Austin Powers and Goldmember, and he couldn't stretch any further than that. That's the extent of it. It's not even really that much of a power so much as that he can make himself shorter.
He just had liposuction. He's Mojo if he had liposuction. Oh no, I'm fucking spoiling it.
Oh no, that's gonna be the twitch.
It's going to be the muscle twitch. It's going to be the muscle spasm. So we got Skin. Who should Skin be played by?
Did we not pick an actor for Skin?
I don't think we picked an actor for half of the actual X-Men. We picked them all for the villains because the villains are fucking cooler anyway.
Yeah, fuck the hero. They'll just be CGI. They'll all just be CGI creations.
Yeah, fuck. Well, no, two of them are already like 2D cartoons.
Yeah, well, yeah. So who should play Skin? That's a good question. Who could embody such a larger-than-life character? Well, not larger than life, but larger than like 6 feet, I'd imagine. Like, because that's probably about how long. But, The Rock?
Dolly Parton?
No, that's a good question. Who? Well, going with...
Like horrible plastic surgery monsters.
Well, going with...
Mickey Rourke?
Maybe. Well, I think that's going with the whole fucking just theme of
like the picking like shitty B tier actors.
Well, it's God, Skin is my mind's running wild for possibilities for Skin. Well, because you said Mickey
Sponsored by Trojan.
You said Mickey Rourke, and now I'm just like picturing Mickey Rourke. But no, I think going with that idea that he does look like Fat Bastard at the end of
Mike Myers.
We should get Mike Myers to play Skin.
Fuck yeah.
And he does his Shrek voice.
Yeah, I don't know. Mike Myers is kind of a fucking prima donna though, and it's like impossible to get him out of the house.
What? No, you can get him out of the house, you just can't make eye contact with him. He got somebody fired because they made eye contact with him.
Yeah, man. How did he get a career over Dana Carvey?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I say that, and then I watch Dana Carvey's material, and I'm like if you like the Dana Carvey shows, Kevin. If you like watch his stand up, it's like you didn't need to do this. It's like watching Adam Sandler do stand up.
Yeah.
Although I heard that Netflix thing he did was pretty good.
Yeah, Hubie Halloween.
Yeah, Hubie Halloween.
It's by the way.
This is now a Stan account for Hubie Halloween.
By the way, great to see Kevin James reprising his role as the white supremacist from Becky.
He's that and the president from when he played the president in Pixels. The old Our Thunder.
Fucking asshole. Yeah, we'll save our presidential pitch for another time. But fucking...
For when we become the president.
Yeah, man. But yeah, Dana Carvey, like, poor guy in one sense, but on the other hand, he also made Master of Disguise. And the funniest fucking thing in the world to this day is that I read a trivia bit on IMDb about that, about how the movie was being filmed in 2001. And then they had while he was, like, yeah, if you haven't seen it, good on you.
You're missing about 2 headaches.
Per minute.
Probably.
But yeah, so Dana Carvey is like, he comes from a family of like espionage people. It's basically Darkman.
Yeah, they're a line of masters of
disguise. Masters of these guys.
They're the masters of the universe.
Oh yeah, dude. Dana Carvey. Tune in next week for Dana Carvey as He-Man. We
have Dana Carvey on the podcast, and he's going to be crying.
We're gonna try our hardest, man, to get him to cry, not to get him to come on. We'll get him to cry some other time, even if it's not on camera. No one will believe us, but it's okay.
Are you upset that the Dana Carvey show didn't take off and nobody knows who you are? I was famous before that. Shut up.
So yeah, Dana Carvey like was filming the movie, and he's dressed like a fucking turtle because he has to go into the turtle club, and he thinks that he has to be a turtle man. So he's like dressed in a big green suit with the hunchback,
and he bites off someone's nose and spits it back on their face.
Yeah, but prior to that, it was a very grounded in reality kind of movie. Where a man takes off a mask where he's like J-Lo or some shit, and he just has man proportions. This is like his dad, right?
And a fucking 40-some-year-old man is like
20,
like 20 or something, like 21.
That was probably like one of the only intentional things that was trying to be funny, and like it just came off as weird.
It's funny that the funniest part of that movie is that
nothing about that movie is funny.
There's a part where Dana Carvey does a Shrek impersonation. And this is prior to like the memification of Shrek. I don't even know if it was out yet or if it was like it was the type of thing where they would have had to have made that joke while that was in production or something like that.
He was just a big fan of the book.
he read it in the I ate some lightning, as Shrek said. Pay me or what? Pay the receipt or something. What the fuck?
Yeah, he was reading Shrek in his trailer. He's like, oh, this would be good for my kids. And then Mike Meyer like knocked on his door to like come say hi and like wish him good luck. And like he sees Shrek and he hears his impression while he's in the bathroom or something. It just seals his entire career. So it's like September 11th, 2001 at like 8 in the morning, and they're filming fucking Turtle Man scene where he's breaking into the Turtle Club dressed as a turtle, and he goes around saying turtle, turtle, and then like they get like breaking news that like the Twin Towers have just been destroyed, and then they all had a moment of silence, and I'm just imagining in a packed room full of like the cast and crew just all bowing their heads, and I'm just imagining Dana Carvey going turtle under his breath, and everyone looks around, puts their heads back down. Turtle. So, we're geniuses.
We're geniuses.
So, speaking of genius, the next member of our fucking team is Maggot with 2 T's.
Maggot.
Maggot Robbie. So, Maggot's power is that he digests stuff real good because he has 2 biomechanical maggots for his stomach, and he was introduced in like 1 issue, and then he was in a concentration camp, and then they immediately killed him off.
He's the strongest mutant that's ever existed. They won't tell you that.
So now we're moving on to Exceptional. Here's a whole fucking one-off about him. He is the worst X-Man, literally. His power is that he can blow up, right? But he can't do it over and over again. He can only blow up once, and he cannot regenerate. You can blow up once.
Donkey Kong is the dictator of the terms of his powers. Yeah, no, this kid can blow up once, like he'll die. That's barely a power.
Yeah, that's just a fucking failsafe for his parents. If anything, man. I mean, we said that he was going to be played by Dustin from Stranger Things, and I think instead of actually doing powers, and he should just get into hijinks with all of his other weird teenage friends and go around pranking people, thinking that they can get a job as a groundskeeper at the Xavier Mansion, and then like he just says, "Fuck you, you just got pranked, idiot," and like he just posts it all on the internet, and then everyone's like, "So I don't have the job?" It's like, "Oh, there's no babysitting job. Is there a job? Is there a job? No, just you got fucking pranked with too much fucking tuna." Could you sign this release form?
I think it'd be great if just he's running a grift throughout the whole movie, and then just at the end, someone's like, "Oh, I'm so happy to work for the Xavier Mansion." He's just like, "Yeah, you just got pranked. I'm not even allowed to hire anybody here. I'm a student. You loser!" And then he explodes.
He just hugs him and explodes. Sorry, Tien. Oh, I can't wait to come back revived by like Kitty Pryde or Jean Grey or someone is like, "We can't do that." They're like, "What?"
Okay, and who's after? What's it? Except.
Glad you asked, Andy.
I already forgot.
Well, either that or it's played by Michael Cera.
Either or. Michael Cera could still play a teenager.
Hell yeah! Hey guys.
Just every scene. It just keeps coming back. It's specified that his power doesn't allow him to come back to life, but it does keep happening.
No, that's when Sugar Man comes in and he keeps kidnapping people from different dimensions and shit. But we'll get to him.
We'll get to Ray. We'll get to Sugar Ray.
Okay, so we got Beak, who's literally just a fucking bird. Like
Pretty much.
You were saying earlier how like some people you get like in the X-Men universe get like cool fucking mutant powers, like you can shoot ice out of your hands, or you can like get claws, or you can teleport, and this guy's just a fucking bird.
You either become like a very useful superhero, or you become a freak of nature that's like looks like a monster.
Yeah.
Like even like things, it's like it's always some weird combination of things. It's like here's this guy who kind of looks like a blue demon. He can also teleport. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking awesome.
And we got somebody on our list who is a similar thing where it's like, maybe they look a little weird, but then they've got a power you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, he's got that boom boom pow.
But how they look and what their power is are both stupid.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember if we put him on our rogues gallery, but
we gotta talk about him no matter what.
Yeah. We'll talk about Translucent in a minute. We're not even halfway. We're only like 3 entries into our fucking main team.
We're doing great.
We're fucking doing it well. Oh yeah, hold on. We're gonna talk about him. It's Wraith. It's fucking. Is he an X-Man or is he a villain? Who cares?
He's one of them.
It's our fucking movie. You just live in it. Okay, so he can make his skin like invisible, and that's it.
that's his power.
So you got one kid that explodes, and the other kid looks like he always is exploding.
It's is there any situation where that's useful?
To tell if you have cancer more easily without using the X-ray.
I guess I mean if you were trying to sneak into some place and you just walked in with translucent skin, maybe you would get far because people would just be too stunned by like, wow, what the fuck?
Or they just try to murder you on sight. The only other way I can see that working is like if you break into like a high school and like, like those musculature displays, like you just like hang yourself on that.
That's how you infiltrate the high school. What is he trying to do there? I don't know if I like this guy. He's a villain.
He's trying to stop the janitor from killing himself.
Yes, he's a metaphor for dying of hypothermia.
Okay, so
go watch I'm Thinking of Ending Things. It's better than The Devil All the Time.
Yeah, that's not a movie. This is the story of our life.
That happened to us.
Cut to black right here. Yeah, so next after that fucking loser, we have El Guapo. He's a psychic skateboarder. He has a telepathic link to his skateboard that he has all the fucking time on him. Can you guess when he was created, Andy?
The 80s? 90s? 2000s?
Probably one of those 3. I mean, you're not wrong.
Skateboarding's popular. I'll find out. I have a computer. We have technology. What's his fucking name? El Guapo.
El Guapo? Right. Yeah, I mean...
Song by Elmer Bernstein.
But yeah, El Guapo has a You know how like Thor can like bring back Mjolnir like at any time because he has he's worthy of the hammer and shit? Well, he's kind of like that, but he can't bring the skateboard back like he can... Like, remember when you like break your board in Tony Hawk's Underground and then like someone just toss you a board from off screen? He doesn't have that shit.
I'm just imagining that Simpsons episode where the guy just like I think they're like environmental terrorists or something like that, and they just set a tree down a hill to like just knock out a bunch of people. It's just like, all right, now tree, come back to me. It just doesn't do anything. He's like, okay, so I don't have powers yet.
Or in Devil All the Time, where Neville Longbottom gets bit by spiders and goes crazy and thinks he can resurrect people, so he shoots his wife in the face and he's like, arise.
Did he stabbed her with a screwdriver, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he just like
it's just like, now come back.
And then like he took him, his wife, and like his crippled brother with him to like the middle of nowhere. And then she's like, "Is it okay? What, doesn't he have a wheelchair?" I was like, "No, it's like a treacherous hill. It's like, I know it's like kind of shitty." He's like, "It's fine. He's fine."
They just left him in the car and just went to go get murdered by Jason Clarke.
And then he comes back and he's like, "Where's your lady?" He's like, just drives off. Oh, man.
Welcome to the podcast where we exclusively talk about the devil all the time.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. We exclusively talk about Dan Schneider, devil all the time, and crack.
Yes!
Fuck yeah.
The tenets of life.
The tunits of life.
One day, we'll pitch tunit soon enough.
Oh, man. So he's got a psychic link to his skateboard, and like the caveat is
2003.
Hey!
First appearance.
Fuck yeah, I think Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 came out then, at the height of the fucking skating craze. You whippersnappers and your skating crazes and your Heelys. But yeah. Oh yeah, my grandmother was saying to me earlier today, like I showed her a clip of like that Devil All the Time segment we were doing. And she's like, oh, I thought it was so cute, my little Stevola, but do you have to insert so many expletives, Stevola? And I'm like, you're literally married to a fucking sailor.
That's true. For those who don't know, Steve's grandfather is the Gordon's fisherman.
He's Seasick Steve. hence the name.
He's Steve Zuzu.
So if he's like separated from his skateboard for more than like 5 seconds, he just starts getting cancer. So he is like Thor, but only Jane Foster Thor.
He's got a magic skateboard. He's just the skateboard kid. We were the talking skateboard, voiced by Dom DeLuise.
Hell yeah, dude. Greatest Disney Channel original movie. But yeah, so we didn't. I couldn't figure out an actor for him either. Do you have any ideas?
Topher Grace.
Hell. I was initially gonna. Do you guys remember the classic show, The Adventures of Chico and Guapo on not Netflix, on MTV2's fucking animation block?
MTV Beach House.
I saw Usher there. Now he has herpes.
Oh no.
That's not my fault. I don't think. So next on the list is Jin Genie. She can generate seismic waves.
I can't take her name seriously.
It just sounds like I'm like stuttering over myself. It's like, what's her name again? Gingini?
Oh, I've got Gingini.
This is my daughter Gingini. She's a gypsy.
Sounds like an Italian magician.
Hey, this is a Gingini.
This is the great Gingini.
Who's laughing at now, Paul? So
too small.
The Gingini, the lamp is too small. I don't need the lid that will fly off while I'm driving.
It would be great. In our version of Gingini, she's going to actually come out of a gin bottle that you have to rub.
Well, that makes sense. Give you a genie bottle, a good old rub. But yeah, that makes sense because she has seismic wave powers, but they can only activate if she's absolutely fucking tossed off the sauce shit phase. And I'm imagining that instead of actually helping, she just ends up fucking up and killing the rest of her teammates and just causing a huge earthquake and just collapsing a building on top of everyone.
It's basically that episode of Rick and Morty where Rick gets super drunk and becomes the villain.
So every episode?
Yes. That's what originally inspired Drunk Thanos, another deep lore character. Our original OC, do not steal, Drunk Thanos. Our original content.
Yeah, I don't remember even how that happened.
I think we were watching that episode and I was like, well, what if this is Infinity? Because I don't think Infinity War had come out yet. And we're like, what if this is the plot of Infinity War? He's just fucking drunk. He's just hammered and the only reason he comes to Earth is because he really loves Popeyes.
And he breaks into Cerebro to go. He asked Paul Rudd to break into Cerebro. So we're crazy people, and Paul Rudd was in a sketch on Tim and Eric.
I had to explain this to people. We had to explain something that we did for no reason. Like this wasn't for content or anything. We're just nuts.
No, Paul Rudd's in our movie now, and we're not even worried about the fucking MCU synergy. Fuck that shit. MSOU. And he just breaks into Cerebro to watch himself dance on the computer. And then Thanos asks Paul Rudd to take, not Ant-Man, Paul Rudd to take him into Cerebro so he can find every single Popeyes in the world. And then he rewards him by fisting him with the fucking Infinity Gauntlet and spinning him around like a disco ball, and he's all lighting up because of all the gems and shit. And Paul Rudd's just doing that face.
I just imagine everybody listening at the moment is just like, I'm following this. Nope, lost me entirely.
Yeah. Train
of thought, what's that? We derailed.
Our runtime 2 hours, viewer retention 30 seconds. So Jin Genie's gonna be played by Paul Rudd. No, Jin Genie's gonna be played by Jin Genie's played by Aubrey Plaza, another fucking 40-year-old woman, and our cast of 40-year-old men and women playing teenagers.
It's just a sequel to Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah, because that's why Paul Rudd's there.
Yeah.
So she is really getting in the role by method acting, by drinking constantly on and off set. So I'm excited for that.
Really getting the character.
Oh, yeah. So now we have Tattoo.
The famous band that had that song that I
All
know
the Things
the
You
name
Said.
of. That I'm not. Is it All the Things You Said? All the Things She Said, isn't it?
Yeah, they were like trying to be like the schoolgirl aesthetic. I think they were like Mad TV or some shit.
From Moscow, Russia.
Of course.
He consisted of Lena Katina and Julia Vodka.
They sound like made up names on like Toast of London.
I mean, like the one's name is it's Julia Volkova, and for some reason when I was first reading it, it's just like Julia Vodka.
Julia Wolchik. Look at that fucking 2000s fashion, dude. It's like the fucking boot cut jeans.
You got the jeans with the jeans with the jeans.
The whole club looking at jeans. Hey,
She hit the jeans.
Next thing you know, Shorty got jeans. So,
Well, you continue on that. I'm going to do something that is also vital to the podcast. I'm going to look up the public image section of the band Tattoo. So while Steve explains to you Tattoo, I will chime in with some interesting facts about the character Tattoo, the character of two women.
yeah, the totally interesting character that can just make temporary tattoos on her skin. Yeah, she's literally that chick from Tattoo Assassins, which is every character, because everyone just they're trying to cash in on the Mortal Kombat craze with this shitty fighting game, and everyone just has fucking shitty tattoos all over their back that were clearly not painted on, and everyone has the same attack where everyone just fucking shit on each other, literally. They just do fucking ass blast fart gas, nonstop, infinite, forever. And you can just spam that attack, and then you fucking turn off the game, and you chuck the arcade cabinet that you totally bought legally and did not just illegally download the ROM for. And the fucking character select screen has like a lady with like all the characters tattooed on her back. It's like, how much time, how much money? The greatest sacrifices require the strongest wills, bringing it back to drunk Thanos.
Hey, can you tattoo like 20 of my friends on my back?
On my back.
It's for work purposes as a tax write-off.
4?
Yes.
I work from home. So Tattoo can make temporary tattoos on her body, and there's nothing else interesting about her, so we're just gonna have her be like the HR person, or like...
I disagree, because it says right here, throughout her career, she received criticism, particularly since the release of All the Things She Said. The AllMusic review for 200 kilometers an hour, and I just had an American moment where I'm just like, what are those words? I don't under kilometers?
What's this 200 km an hour?
For 200 kilometers an hour in the wrong lane. Labeled the band as an exceptionally tawdry gimmick. In 2003, after the release of their video, All the Things She Said, some UK presenters campaigned to ban the video worldwide, despite subsequent reports that BBC had banned the video from their pre-Watershed program, Top of the Pops. The BBC quickly denied the ban, stating only that they had better footage to show.
So...
We didn't ban this. We just had, it was lame. We had better stuff.
It's basically that thing where it's like you can get it's not necessarily illegal, but we'll fine you for it. So it's like it's legal up until I have to pay for it. I'm getting a trial run of loitering.
Welcome to the podcast where we discuss the band Tattoo.
Where we discuss the inner machinations of society, man. We live in one.
So as you can see, Tattoo's been through a lot because she had like all that stuff said about her.
All the things that she said.
All the things that she said. Running through my head.
Yeah, we're really topical. We're really hip with the kids on this show.
Have you guys heard of Tattoo? Have you heard this new hot single by Tattoo? It's
yeah.
called All the Things She Said.
It's a T period A period T period U period.
Tattooco.
This is my tattoo. But yeah, so Tattoo is gonna be played by two characters. It's gonna be played by the band Tattoo. It was gonna be that chick from American Pickers, but I can't remember her name, so it'd be hard to get into contact with her.
It'll either be the person from American Pickers or the person who used to be the morgue-like person on NCIS, or maybe they're the same person.
Yeah, but I mean, they both kind of have like the same aesthetic going on, and they're both crazy.
They're both pale and dark hair and have tattoos.
Yeah. So what was the thing you were saying about that NCIS chick earlier? How she's like intimidated by like the nicest guy in the world?
Yeah, so, yeah, this is something that's like, yeah, you never know what, like, that's the whole thing with Hollywood is some people seem like normal and then they like, they have a darker side to that. But Polly Perrette, who was on NCIS, left NCIS because she said, like, she was terrified of Mark Harmon or something like that. And to be fair, that was like the headline of it, so I didn't really read, like, that whole thing. But she basically said she was, like, really afraid of him. And, like, all the other people, I looked up, like, oh, what did Mark Harmon do? Like, I imagine there'd be something to think about. And everything it says, like, oh, Mark Harmon's, like, the nicest guy ever. He, like, saved a lady from a burning car or something. That sounds like something I'm making up to, like, exaggerate, like, oh, he's just that nice of a guy. But no, I think that's a thing he did.
Well, you know what they say, always fear an old man in a profession where men die young.
Person from shell of rusty car.
Well, you know, she said all that. She started like defaming him, but you can't believe all the things she said.
Okay, so when you look that up, for some reason the automatically suggested thing on Google is videos, and the first Google video is what we're talking about. Actress claims she's terrified of NCIS star Mark Harmon. The next video is Mark Harmon discusses the big surprise on NCIS this season, and then it's cut off. And then the one under that is Mark Harmon saves 2 kids from burning car.
Hell yeah.
And then the one under that says Mark Harmon on. On what?
Death Grips is online.
You.
Ever since I left the city.
So that's think of that of what you think of that of what do you will.
Hey, who's the laughing in now, Paul? We have to talk about the greatest member of our team.
Oh no, let's talk about him.
Okay, so this man's name is Kylun. So you guys seen Thundercats, right?
Kylun! That's who I was talking about earlier. I wasn't talking about Wraith. I was talking about Kylun.
Oh, hell
It's
yeah.
like, it's not just that they're one thing. They have another thing.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that fucking loser who can make his skin invisible. I thought you were like, I was really like, I was like confused. I'm like, why are you excited about that fucking weirdo?
Oh yeah, before we need to, Kylun is the best part of this whole team. He's the heart and soul of the team.
Absolutely.
But we do need to point out that we should note that out of all these characters we're talking about, at least one has actually been in a movie, and that was the one who could fucking turn his skin transparent. And for some reason in the movie, his power is that he could teleport, and that he's played by Will.I.Am.
And then he fucks Mystique, and then that's how that Nightcrawler's born?
No, because I think that movie's like pretty much made non-canon. Now what it is in X-Men First Class, we meet Nightcrawler's dad, or at least the guy who's his dad in the comics. And at the end, like, him and Mystique, like, are on the same team. And then the next movie, it's explained that he was, like, killed or experimented on or something like that. And it's just, like, and they kind of don't really address, like, the potentiality of Mystique being, like, his mother in later movies. Yeah. But, that's just one thing where it's just like, I wonder if they were just trying to subtly apply. It's like, oh, Mystique's going off with that guy. And it's just like, who's gonna fuck that guy? He looks like the devil.
Yeah, he's fucking Will.I.Am.
Yeah, who's gonna fuck Will.I.Am? I hope nobody did.
Not me.
That's what somebody who fucked Will.I.Am would say.
But enough about Fergie. Goddamn, Fergie, I'm trying to sing a song and talk about goddamn shit out your asshole.
But now back to the best member on the team, Kylun.
The best! So, he's, a fucking 40-year-old lion / Thundercat man, and he has 2 magic swords that can't hurt anyone. I read that wrong when I was looking this guy up. It says it can't hurt anyone that's like pure of heart. So that basically means he can't hurt anybody. So he has like 2 fucking props.
Who's deciding? What, like, are the blades like, that guy's pure heart?
I don't know, man. The Comics Code Authority?
Yeah, but I guess.
Because this guy was made in the fucking 50s or something. So basically, he's a Thundercat man. And he doesn't have anything exceptional about him except the fact that he can mimic any animal sound. So,
I thought he could mimic any sound. It's specific to any animal sound.
I think it's any animal. Maybe it is any sound. sound. Who fucking cares? So in that case, we're gonna
It's
get.
not a useful power either way, but it's like you're fighting Magneto. It's like, is that a bear? I don't like bears. I'll leave.
No, he's trying to mimic Wolverine's. It's like Snick it, bub, and then Magneto turns around, they bonk him on the head.
Eventually, we'll get a soundboard.
Eventually, we'll just spend all of our time fucking hitting it. Like it's not even a soundboard. It's just a Fisher Price keyboard.
The podcast just becomes only noises.
The podcast just becomes a spinning thing. It's like the cow goes. Okay, so that's it for the heroes of our journey. So, oh yeah, I forgot to mention the best part. So,
No, you talked about Kylun.
yeah, no, I talked about Kylo Ren. So the team is led by Professor Xavier, as we know, and Professor Xavier, we're gonna get him played by Joe Biden, and that Professor Biden is gonna like have all the kids at the inauguration and stuff, and he's gonna be like, okay, everyone, so he goes into Cerebro and he sends all the Sentinels after all the Black Trump supporters, and like the Sentinels are gonna turn their skin pigment white. And then all the parents are like, why would you do that? I thought Peter Dinklage made the Sentinels. And he's like, listen here, Jack, I'm gonna punch your daughter straight up in the fucking mouth if you don't hand your kids over to me. And then everyone's like, all right, how am I to argue with the guy that can blow up my head?
For some reason, when you started saying Professor X was going to be played by Joe, my brain just short-circuited, and I started imagining Joe Rogan as Professor X, just rolling into a room and talking about a gorilla on DMT and how he is he's signed him into the X Academy.
Hell yeah. He just gets a fucking, like, a mutant gorilla that can, like, fucking, like, telepathically ingest DMT and do sign language.
He gets brain ape. He's running off DMT instead of Hitler's brain. We'll briefly explain that. There's a Savage Dragon villain called Brain Ape. He's what if you put Hitler's brain in an ape?
And then
Hitler, skilled fighter.
And then Joe Biden was in a Savage Dragon comic. It all ties together, dude.
It's all circling around.
Hell yeah, it's all a perfect circle. It's all a big Ouroboros of cock rings. So now we're moving on to the fucking villains of the story, right? And this is where it gets actually interesting instead of just horrible. Okay, so we were talking about Sugar Man earlier. And he's a horrible monster that has like little T-Rex, like baby arms growing out of the side of his head. And he has a big tattoo that says sugar with the heart in it, like mom tattoo.
Sugar Ray. He's just a big fan.
Oh, the best. So since Tattoo was a part of the X-Men, he has to be the counterpart. The difference is he can like travel between dimensions and shit, and he does horrible experiments on people. And he smells real good. And I don't know why I wrote that down. I'm sure I had something for that, but I don't know why I wrote that down. Okay, so that's the villains.
Just imagining us going into like a Hollywood office to pitch this. It's like, and here we got Sugar Man. He smells real good.
Can it be any better or worse than that live building where he's like making Spike Lee into a superhero? He's like, this is Spike Man. You got a camera on your head?
Look up that video if you ever get the chance.
Yeah, look up Rob Gets Robbed.
Yeah, that's on the Skit Satisfaction channel. That's a deep cut.
Oh, that's some deep lore. So he's gonna be played by Nick Kroll. I don't have anything else. I don't have anything else with the guy that smells real good.
Maybe you thought that was his power briefly. It's like he smells you real good.
Oh yeah, he does smell real good. He has like super smell or some shit. So now we're moving on to the other sense.
Oh wait, that is what it meant. He's gonna smell you real good.
He's gonna smell you so good, girl. He's gonna smell you 9 times, baby. So now we have peepers. He can see really far.
I forget how dumb these are.
He has these big he looks like a Nosferatu kind of esque villain, and he was picked out by Magneto himself. I don't know what the fuck for, like Captain America number fucking 4. And basically his power is that he has big fucking googly eyes. He looks like a basilisk.
He looks like Gollum in the fucking animated Lord of the Rings movie,
like the OG one from the 80s, where like they not ray trace, but like they rotoscope rotoscoped everything.
Yeah, they did something. They put like a filter on it or something. Some of it's just weird.
It was meant to be a CDI game.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Hell yeah. This is what he looks like, everyone.
Yeah, check it out. Screen sharing to some man in Zimbabwe.
Oh, man. Just give him your social security number and your banking info and your mom's maiden name.
They're all the same thing.
Yeah. All moms come from Zimbabwe, really.
My social security number, my mom's maiden name, and my PIN number are all Tony.
Tony Pepperone. So, yeah, Peepers is going to be played by Steve Buscemi. I don't think I have to explain anything else. He doesn't smell that good. He's all right.
It'd be great if Peepers was played by, I think Steve Buscemi is an inspired choice, but it would also be great if he was played by Michael Shannon. He's just got these magic eyes, but they're never quite pointing in the same direction. He's just staring far off into two different directions.
Or maybe Kyle MacLachlan, dude. He's got crazy eyes.
He's got crazy eyes and a happy face.
Hell yeah.
We're taking our jokes straight from How I Met Your Mother now.
Yeah, this is exclusively How I Met Your Mother podcast where we go episode by episode explaining every single scene and what it actually means.
This is the podcast where we change what the podcast is supposed to cover every 20 minutes.
Yeah, we're an ever expanding format just like the universe. So now we're moving on to Mojo. If you don't know, he's like this big fat guy. He lives in the Mojo-verse. He's
big credit, big swag to have just an entire universe named after yourself.
Hell yeah, big swaggy, big Mojo.
It's not like nobody named the Mojo. He named the Mojo-verse. Like that's what it was. Just like I'm Mojo, and this place I live here, so this might as well be the Mojo.
Well. Before the Mojo-verse existed, there was only Mojo, and then he created the Mojo-verse around him.
He's like that one Spider-Man villain who created the symbiotes or fucking whatever.
Yeah, he created the fucking whatever. And
he created Woody Harrelson, and there's gonna be carnage.
Cletus Cassidy.
I remember that when you found out that Carnage's real name is Cletus Cassidy, you lost your shit.
I laughed for at least fucking 20 minutes, dude. I thought you were just shitting me. Yeah, no, he's like, he lives in the Mojo-verse. Like, the rest of the galaxy orbits around Mojo because he's such a fat fuck. It's a big gladiator planet, and like he wants big views. He's like, oh man, I hate that fucking one chick. I mean, she's supposed to be annoying, but also it's like the one instance in the Spider-Man game where like, what the hell's her name? It's like she's like that really annoying like Twitch streamer type chick. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Yeah, you're better off. But she's basically like a Twitch streamer, and she's like doing crimes, and then she's like, hey, you gotta stop all these prisoners from killing these people, Spider-Man. I'm getting so many hits on Twitch. I'm gonna dab on all the boomers. And it's like, Jesus Christ. Like the rest of the game is like pretty well, like they were pretty well to do. Like the Twitter in that game is like the fucking best in-universe Twitter I've ever seen in anything.
It's just all, you're only allowed to follow Sunny D Twitter.
Yeah, basically. You're only allowed to follow brands. It's like, hey, hey, fellow kids, I want to kill myself too. And then the other Wendy's account says the Sunny D account, it's okay, I want to kill myself too. And then everyone in the comments is just like, silence, brand. With that crab with the laser eyes.
My brand.
Shout outs to Russell Brand for literally no reason. Well, shout outs to him for not talking to us.
Russell Brand should play Mojo.
Oh, that'd be fucking great. Yeah, we just get like a skinny Indian man to play a big fat guy. Yeah, so Mojo is this horrible blob man. He tries to turn the X-Men into babies, like Alessi from JoJo, and he tried to make an X-Men spin-off called like X-Babies or something.
It's like that Watchmen Babies tape that they have in that one episode of The Simpsons. It's like V is for vacation, and they're all just like surfing.
The fucking Saturday morning Watchmen.
Strong together, united forever, they're the best of friends.
Hell yeah. So Mojo was going to be played by Coolio, and then he was going to be played by Patton Oswalt, but now I think Russell Brand is a better fit.
It'll be all three of them. Just it's that Mitchell and Webb skit, and this is something I can recommend. Go watch Mitchell and Webb because I think it's still all on YouTube.
Fuck yeah!
But people, like all British shows are just like that, where it's like, yeah, put the whole thing on YouTube. We don't care. We've got lots of other things to watch over here. I don't. It always starts off as kind of British, and then it just becomes nothing.
Oi, it's Tuesday, innit? Oi, what you could identify as anything, like a finicky looper.
Helicopter.
J.K. Rowling.
But yeah, no. So go watch Mitchell and Webb skit. But it's basically like that Mitchell and Webb skit where they play fucking Holmes and Watson, and they like switch who does it on different nights of the production, and then when it comes time to adapt the movie, they just keep changing who does it from scene to scene. It's just every time he's just like has the pipe and he like hits it. He's like, oh yeah, think Watson. And he like hits him on the head. The next night, the other one will just hit them on the head even harder with it.
I had an idea where it was like a teen comedy movie where like back in like the peak popularity, like The Lonely Island, where someone plays a character and it's Michael Cera playing the character in one scene, and then Jesse Eisenberg plays the same character in the other scene, and then that happens back and forth throughout the movie, and it keeps cutting back, and then the final scene happens, and like it cuts to like lead love interest number 42, like Ellen Page probably, and then it's like reverse shots back to like the male love interest character. It's just Andy Samberg. I don't know what I do with it, but I just thought that concept was funny, and like it just reminded me of that.
I feel like our creative process is just like Walt Disney's final words that he wrote down on a piece of paper. Just Kurt Russell. He smells good.
Kurt Russell probably smells great, dude.
He probably smells amazing.
Oh,
probably
hell
got
yeah.
a Musk.
Oh yeah, he's got
Elon Musk.
Yeah,
kidnapped.
on speed dial. Yeah, just fucking Grimes tied up in the back of the Tesla.
It was because Elon Musk should have played Iron Man. Then I remembered Elon Musk was in Iron Man too. He just shows up.
Yeah, just like he kind of wandered on set, and he's like, "Hey, dude, you can't be on here." It's like, "I can buy you."
He's like, Tony Stark just walks up to Elon Musk, like, "Hey, how's it going, Elon?" And Elon's like, "Have you seen Grimes?" And it's like, I don't know if this timeline lines up for when you would have known her. And he's like, "Yeah, this is getting too meta." And then they walked away from each other.
And then Tilda Swinton walks on the camera. She's like, "Oh shit, I missed it." So, wait, I was gonna save the best for last, but I'm gonna talk about motherfucking Mammomax. He's just a big fucking woolly mammoth, and you think that like the villains keep getting their ass kicked. They just call out the fucking bulletproof woolly mammoth. It's like, I probably should have done this from the beginning.
Mammomax.
Mammomax. It sounds like a fucking drug. If you take Mammomax, please stop.
If you've taken Mammomax and anybody you know or love has suffered from hypertension in their balls, stop taking Mammomax.
It sounds like someone who's like had to have like a double mastectomy, had to like, it's like, oh, I want to grow my tits back. They just like take Mammomax. It just like makes you get instant big milky.
Mammomax, imagine Mammomax just coming in a thing of like protein powder. And you open it up and it just smells like onions.
Simply onion juice.
It's just Funyun powder that you make Simply onion juice.
Yeah, it's like protein powder, but it's just like the Funyun fucking Cheeto shit, like dust on your fingers. You just mix it in with your milk and just drink it. It's like, oh, but this is somehow slightly better than whey protein. It just tastes like boneless Nesquik. Yo, fuck whey protein. All my homies hate whey protein.
Oh fuck! When I was recovering from my surgery, their big thing is like you can't drop like more than 10% of your weight.
Yeah.
Or they get worried they might have to put you on a feeding tube.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, so you gotta drink a lot of protein shakes to make sure you keep up your weight. And I'm like, can I just eat like fucking an entire box of Twinkies every day? 'Cause I don't want to drink that shit.
Yeah, dude.
Like it just tastes like chalk.
Yeah, dude. It's fucking winter time. Like you might as well be drinking Pepto-Bismol or like eating Tums at that point.
I think I made like 3 shakes that had like protein shit in them, and that was it.
Yeah, dude. Like. There's muscle milk, which is kind of ingestible, and then there's like core power, which is actually really good. I started taking that before I go to the gym, and it only has a little bit of sugar in it, like maybe 5 grams, but like it actually tastes like fucking strawberry milk or chocolate milk, and it's good. Like, dude, that's dope, and it's a complete protein too, so you're not getting that bullshit you get with whey, where like sometimes like there's always an upside and downside to everything. But it actually tastes good. Probably because it put sugar in it. I can't really say for sure.
So Jim Gaffigan bit where he's talking about, I think it's Jim Gaffigan, where he's talking about kudos bars. And it's like, oh, let's make some granola bars. Kids aren't really eating the granola bars. Let's put some like M&Ms. Let's put some candy in there. It's like, oh, people like them. Oh, then let's go further. Let's like cover it in chocolate and stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay, kids really like them. It's like, yeah, I'm thinking, just get that damn granola out of there.
Like, breakfast is such a fucking commodity. I think Crack made a video about it, even after they got cucked out by Zoe Quinn, when, like, it's like, yeah, you're just eating a bowl of candy for fucking breakfast every day.
Yeah, well, I was eating, like, pancakes this morning, and I had, like, pancakes for dinner, like, the other night.
Yeah.
And, like, it was that thing where I didn't even finish them, because I'm just like, this is too much. And I had them today, like, my dad made pancakes and bacon, so I had that, and I'm like, oh, see, I ate the same amount of pancakes, but here, when I had something salty to balance it out, like, it's like, at this point in my life, I'm just, like, eating pure sugar. I'm like, I need something. Salt. Protein, nutrients.
Yeah, dude. Like,
food, water, atmosphere.
I just burped real loud.
It's okay. It's not like we have mics very close to our body organs that'll pick up everything.
Yeah, our previously mentioned friend Mike is really close to our bodies and organs. This is like Wraith.
I mean, I have slept in a bed next to him, so I've been very close to his organs. I've been inside his organs.
I think one organ in particular was like kind of brushing up against you a little too much.
He's actually the guy who played Love Sausage in The Boys.
Hell yeah.
But speaking of the boys, let's talk about the best boy some more. Mammo Max.
Hell yeah, man. So there's really nothing else to say about Mammo Max except that he's a big fucking woolly mammoth and he spits out acid. I didn't.
Again, two things that just like, he can't just be a giant woolly mammoth. He spits acid.
And is bulletproof. That wasn't fucking enough. Like, it just who fucking wrote this guy? Hannibal?
Oh God! There's got to be a late stage twist in the movie that Sauron, that pterodactyl that doesn't want to cure cancer, he just wants to turn people
into dinosaurs.
He shows up and he's the big bad of everything.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say that he got turned into a different kind of prehistoric creature.
It turns out that Mammo Max is just Sauron, who got turned in his quest to turn everybody into dinosaurs. He turned himself, a dinosaur, into a woolly mammoth.
The poetic irony. So,
what if the thing you had was a different thing?
What gun? What if he had a gun?
I love when there was that period of time where all those movies were like, what if we could use more than 10% of our brain? It's like, we fucking do.
Yeah, dude, fucking, there was, what was that, Limitless?
Yeah, there was Limitless.
And Lucy. Oh my fucking God, what a piece of shit. Fuck you.
At least one of them was like, oh, maybe you could just become like really fucking smart.
Yeah.
One of them was like, you could turn into a computer and become a flash drive.
Like that movie.
Someone kicks some cocaine open in your stomach and you become a fucking superhero.
Yeah, like aside from Scarlett Johansson, like Morgan Freeman, the only other actor I recognized was like, he was in like a Old Boy. He played fucking Ode Sue in Old Boy. And I was really excited for that movie because, oh, look, female-led action movie. It looks kind of like an interesting concept. Mm-hmm. That guy from Old Boy is getting mainstream attention after like fucking 2003. And then it's like, no.
Made by the guy who made The Fifth Element and cheated on his wife with Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, and then he put Mila Jovovich in everything.
Yeah. Why do people keep marrying Mila Jovovich and just putting her in everything? What effect does she have on people?
I don't know, man. Russian Pussy got me acting strange. But yeah, no. Fucking Lucy was so like within the first 5 minutes, I knew I made a mistake going into the theater when I was watching Lucy. Right, I took my family to see it with me, and like. There's a part in the movie, like the intro to the movie was like they're in Europe or some shit, and like the guy has like a briefcase of like full of shit, and then he's like, go in and do the briefcase exchange for me, babe, and then she's like, what? No, and then like, what? No,
no,
and then like,
you betrayed us.
You betrayed us. You betrayed me.
Go watch Twisted Pair, made by friend of the show Neil Breen.
He's a Breenius, dude. So, like, she's like, oh, yeah, babe, just go in and make the exchange. What could go wrong? And then, like, it cuts to, like, a fucking close-up of a rat going into a trap. And I'm like, you're insulting my intelligence this early? I know what I'm in for a fucking ride, dude.
I don't have enough intelligence to legally exist. God, yeah. No, I only saw it once, and I might have been drunk. But,
me too.
That's the Me Too movie. I also saw Lucy.
We were both in the same theater, just like fucking two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl.
Well, have I ever told you about anytime I hear Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd, I always go, man, I miss my dad. Then I have a moment where I'm like, oh, my dad's not dead. But Yeah, no, if I remember correctly, didn't it do shit like when she's like rearing out to like attack somebody, it like cuts to footage of like a tiger like prowling through the bush or something like that? It's
I wouldn't
like,
put
do
it-
you get it?
I wouldn't put it fucking past him, dude. Like
That happened in some movie I was watching. I think it was that. I don't remember.
if you were talking about what's his name, Sauron, the fucking pterodactyl that can rewrite DNA on the fly and turn people into dinosaurs.
And they just didn't give a shit. It's like, isn't this the name of a character from Lord of the Rings? It's like, no, that'll never be a big thing.
Yeah, it's Chip Zdarsky. Like I know what I'm doing. Shut up, fuck you.
Well,
I write sex criminals. What do you expect from me?
Well, Sauron's been around for like a while because I remember
really?
my brother, like, they had a toy of him when I was younger, and I'm like, oh, a pterodactyl from like a pterodactyl toy. So they're like, that's an X-Men villain. I'm like, did they give up? It's like one of our villain can control, like he was he had a really tortured past where he was like in a concentration camp and everything. He could control metal. What if villain was pterodactyl?
Yeah, what if villain also grew up in concentration camp and had 2 maggots for a stomach?
And that's what he used to eat. So, but
yeah,
back to.
No, I want to talk about Lucy some more, because fuck that movie. No, fuck this. We're doing it live. So,
welcome to the podcast where we exclusively discuss Lucy.
welcome to the Patreon exclusive Lucy Talk Power Hour.
Lucy!
You really ruined my self-esteem with your career taking off before mine. Oh, 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 oh. I don't know what that's kind of turned into Kermit the Frog there.
Oh.
So, fucking yeah, Lucy in that movie, like since she turned into a fucking computer, right? And like they made the illusions to, like the animals and shit. Like, wouldn't it be cool if she just like had animal powers? Like her arm turned into a fucking tiger claw and she just fucking mauled some guy's face off. Like if she was basically just Cars from JoJo, that'd be the fucking best. If she was the ultimate life form, Scarlett Johansson.
Or if she turned into a mammoth.
Oh, what if she was Mammo Max?
Scarlett Johansson's playing Mammo Max.
She plays.
Wait, who did we have playing Mammo Max? I feel we had a good choice.
Ray Romano.
Yes, he's reprising his role as Manny from Ice Age to play Mammo Max.
Yeah, he's taking time off of his busy schedule, touring with his band Sugar Ray Romano with Brad Garrett.
They sing that hit single that we all know and love.
I just wanna fly. And then Brad Garrett comes up from behind him and hugs him from behind. He's like, "Put your arms around me, Raymond. Put your arms around me, Raymond."
Oh, we're gonna have a whole album by the time we're done with this.
Yeah,
it's gonna be this and Devil all the time.
Yeah, Neil Ciceriga is just gonna remix our entire podcast. So okay, moving on from Best Boy Mammo Max, rest in peace. We have Nanny, who is a lady who tried to stop her anti-mutant boss from like doing horrible experiments on kids, and then they caught her. And then they turned her into a horrible robot that goes crazy and screams everywhere. And then she breaks out of the facility. She looks like Eddie from fucking Fallout. And then she floats on out of the fucking facility. And then, you were going to say something, man?
I was gonna say, well, because her name's like Nanny, just regular in the comic, and we've made her
Nan-E. Yeah.
It's just someone's gotta pause that and just like goes like I think Steve's just writing like a plot to kill Andy actually.
Just swastikas all over it.
It just says it in my notes.
So she breaks out of the fucking facility and she meets a mutant named Orphan Maker.
Yes, Orphan Maker.
And so what they do is they kidnap mutants and then they kill their parents, and then that's literally their entire shtick. And I like to think that in our movie, where we're gonna slightly adapt it, we're gonna give it a little shamalama ding dongy and twist, and we're gonna do this thing where some of the kids, like they kidnap, they just fucking break their Stockholm syndrome and they get away and they go over to the Xavier mansion, and then like they're like, "Where'd you come from?" We're like, "We're the people that got kidnapped by a nanny and fucking orphan makers." Like, "Wait, you didn't go with them willingly?" It's like, "No, they're crazy people." And then like, "Oh shit, what do we do? They're kind of keeping us in business by sending all these kids over here. Should we stop them?" So Nanny's gonna be played by Fran Drescher. I just imagining, ow, it's so just all the time. And then
it's that comic, I built a robot that screams.
Why? while the robots is still in the background. So Nanny's played by Fran Drescher, probably maybe even fucking Louis Dreyfus, and then Patrick Warburton's gonna play Orphan Maker. I'm just imagining fucking Kronk just running around punching the shit out of parents and just stealing their kids away.
Peter, I'm the Orphan Maker.
Peter.
I can never do. I've realized this. I shouldn't say recently. I've known this my whole life. I can only do impressions of people if that's not the person I'm trying to do an impression of.
Like when we halfway through any impression of a British people, we just like halfway transition to like New Zealand or Australian. We're basically just doing Butcher from The Boys, where he's like a New Zealand guy and he's just doing a Cockney accent.
Because I'm writing a script right now that takes place in Scotland, so I like wrote a little bit of like Scottish slang in there and stuff.
You mean
like
Scatland?
Yes, we're holding out for Scatland. You know, they want to film it in Scotland, but I'm holding out for Scatland.
And we're kicking it with the Scat Man.
Kicking it to a fat jam, kicking it with the trash man. But yeah, no, I'm writing, and I was talking to somebody, and they were like, well, just remember, not everybody in Scotland talks the same. And I'm like,
no one in America talks the same.
I was like, oh, I understand that. Well, first off, I was like, yeah, no, it's like we have there's dialects everywhere and shit like that. But also, it was just like, it takes place in like one town. So everyone probably would talk the same in that one location.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man, it's like, I was playing Yakuza one time, and I was so happy that there's like this foreigner dude working at like a shitty convenience store, and like he speaks like shitty Japanese, because everyone in the game speaks Japanese.
He speaks in foreigner songs.
He does. He speaks exclusively in foreigner quotes, and then Kiryu's like, Nani-tan?
He just opens up and just Jukebox Hero is playing, like Stitch puts his finger on just reckons,
Jukebox Hero with stars and his
Like, looking just at us peaking the audio, just
But yeah, dude, like you go into a fucking like 7-Eleven in the Kamurocho, and then like, you know, when in Japan, like they're all like formal and shit, and they're like irashimasu, which means like hello, welcome. But then like the fucking like the white boy behind the counter would be like irashimasu, and like and then you'll leave the store and you'll check out and be like arigato gozaimashita, and like that's fucking amazing, dude.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That fucking episode of King of the Hill.
So yeah, our lengthy discussion of our we're calling it X-Men: The Parent Trap. I think I mentioned that earlier because Orphan Maker and Nanny, Nan-Dash-E are kidnapping kids and basically keeping Xavier in business. But it's called X-Men: The Parent Trap, in theaters never.
I remember this reminds me of when I would come up with I remember recently I was like, it shouldn't be hard to make a Justice League movie, so I thought out like a whole Justice League trilogy. And then you
just came up with the same movie Zack Snyder did.
Yes, and that hack ripped me off. That Zack ripped me off. That Zachary, he is my enemy.
He lied to me. He hates me. That Zachary is my enemy.
Zack Snyder, if you're watching, don't worry. We respect that your movie is for grown-ups.
Yeah, cut to our mid-roll where we're sponsored by Xanzags. The only thing that can keep you awake during the filming and watching of Justice League. Just go to Xanzags.com/pitchshift.
I thought you were going to say the only thing that can keep you awake through PitchShift. Yeah. You probably need like fucking amphetamines to be on whatever level we're on. We're not.
Yeah, amphetamines?
We're
not on amphetamines. I'm just checking for ticks.
I'm not saying I'm on amphetamine.
I'm saying you're on amphetamines.
My girlfriend goes to another school. That's why you can't see her. But yeah, so that was our lengthy discussion of that thing, and but anyway, as I was saying, so I would just come up and I'm like, oh, so the first one would be sort of this, and I sort of planned it out. I think I basically just said, like, just take Justice League Miller's Justice League Miller? What the
It's Miller time.
I just had a stroke. But take George Miller's script for Justice League Mortal, just make that pretty much, and then the next movie, just like, you get like, here was my roster, Black Manta, like Sinestro.
Yeah. Like a
fucking
who's who.
Cheetah. Like, you just get a bunch, like, do the Anti-Justice League or the Legion of Doom or something like that. That would be really cool, because we still haven't seen, like, and I thought, like, maybe we get this, like, around Infinity War or something, but we still haven't seen it. When are we getting a fucking, like, villain team-up movie?
For
like,
real.
that's the one thing, like, the Sinister Six idea that, like, Sony's had, that's an interesting idea. I just don't trust them.
Yeah, I don't trust like that. I'm waiting.
I don't want to watch Jared Leto fucking do anything.
Shit, man.
Welcome to the podcast where we exclusively
Shit on Jared Leto.
Jared Leto.
Again.
Tarnished his reputation. It wasn't all that shit he did.
Yeah, no, that it's all on us. We're to blame.
Did you see that thing I shared on, somebody shared that thing on Facebook that was just like, oh, did you know that originally, in the original draft of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Charlie was supposed to be black?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this whole thing making it just like, Roald Dahl was so forward-thinking, and I just shared it like, yeah, Roald Dahl was very forward-thinking, except for all that anti-Semitic stuff he said.
But yeah, you were saying about that, like, Sinister Six movie, like, I think it'd be cool if they made, like, a Dark Avengers movie, because, like, they have that thing where, like, Wolverine's, like, son, like, a bastard child, like, what's his name, Draken?
Yeah, something like
he's Wolverine, and then, like, there's a bunch of other people, like,
Dracula, his son.
Yeah, he digs through the dishes and burns through witches. That's
his power.
And he slams on the back of his Draken.
He can dig anywhere. It's just that scene in Suicide Squad. Here's a man who can climb anything. Meet the man who can dig anywhere.
Yeah, the greatest hero based off the greatest band.
But, so, I know our initial plan was to go through both the X-Men and the heist on a bike.
I didn't really have much to talk about with heist on a bike. I just thought the name was funny.
That's honestly that's what Planet of the Gators was. It's like, what if alligators? I mean, you know.
What if a guy had shotguns for legs? What if an alligator had a shotgun in his mouth?
Our whole segment is basically just like, what if Thing was worse? But I mean,
we're geniuses.
I mean, I think the one thing I wanted to say about that was I kind of just wanted to let you like pitch the whole movie and describe the whole thing, and then I would just like be listening, and then I'd just be like, hey, you ever see that movie Premium Rush with Joseph Gordon-Levitt where he's on a bike? Because I was saying, I'm like, isn't there like a heist movie? And then I realized I was remembering that movie, and I'm like, I don't think they were stealing things in that movie. I think it was just Joseph Gordon-Levitt was on a bike, and that was what the movie was sold on.
It was just filming his cardio, like warm up in the morning.
It's like, what if Joseph Gordon-Levitt was on a bike?
What if he had a gun? I think he had like a package. He was a courier. He's a bike courier.
Yeah, it was something like that.
He
and
had
then he
a
got
bomb.
shot and buried in a ditch by a man in a checkered suit, and he had to chase him across an irradiated desert. And then he met him in a casino, and he had sex with him.
And he's like, give him a shake for the Ben Man.
Go play Fallout New Vegas. Have you heard about this new game, Fallout New Vegas?
Yeah, it's what all the kids are raving about these days.
Just go play this new game, Fallout New Vegas. Go listen to that new hot single, All the Things She Said by Tattoo.
And that hot new single by Eddie Murphy, Devil All the Time.
Yeah, go read a book, because then you'll be smarter than us.
Speaking of reading, I just want to get the quick fucking pitch out of the way. So, the movie's called Heist on a Bike. It's called that because a bunch of kids go rob banks dressed like Jesus Christ. Because you know the phrase, Jesus Christ on a bicycle, Christ on a bike. And I
had, prior to you saying that, I had never heard that. I'd heard like Christ on a cross, so I still kind of got it. But it was...
So yeah, the famous saying, Christ on a bike.
You know that famous saying, Christ had chainsaw hands.
Christ had shotgun for leg. So...
But Shotsky's mortal enemy, chain handsies.
And their occasional lover yet rival makey outie. So... and his twin brother, Pizza Hutty.
So, here's your context corner. We came up with an idea of a character who is a beard with legs and arms. His name is Makey Outie, who's essentially, this is a late lore adaptation, sort of a retcon, but he's the opposite of the Tooth Fairy, where he breaks into your house and puts teeth under your pillow. And his brother is a Pizza Hut roof with legs called Pizza Hutty. And if you'd like to know how we came up with these concepts, so would we. We're right there with you.
I think it was someone said something about, like, Jesus said makey outie, and then you and me laughed.
Yeah, I think James was like, he was just being dumb, and he was like, makey outie. And then we just started laughing about a character named Makey Outie.
We just fucking took it and ran with it.
And then we did the dance, makey
outie, makey outie.
The floor just collapses.
Yeah, it was Gin Genie coming over here using your drunk seismo waves.
Gin Genie. Oh, speaking of Gin Genie, and this has nothing to do with Gin Genie, but I was saying, like, when I was watching The Boys, just every cast member, I was like, I feel like I've seen them in something else,
Yeah.
and I just didn't, except for the people I already knew. Yeah.
You saw Starlight drinking gin straight out of a bottle.
Yes, it was just, I saw her when I was in LA, she was just on the side of the road, just day drinking. I don't think she was in a good place. I mean, when I saw BJ Novak, he looked about 10 years older than he does anytime I've seen him in something, and he looked like he was not having a good time. And I just kept awkwardly making eye contact, and I didn't know, there's no, like, look you could give somebody to be like, yes, I know you're a famous person. No, I will not bother you. I may ask you why you have chosen to go by BJ. But as my brother and his friend joked back in the day, they thought his name was just Banana Jones. And my brother's one friend just went, if I knew a man named Banana Jones, he'd be my best friend.
Hell yeah, dude. Better than fucking Billy Joe.
But yeah, BJ Novak, fuck. What was I talking about before BJ Novak?
BJ Novak fucking. You were talking about...
Oh, yeah, no, The Boys. Anya Cash, or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Aya Cash, whatever her name is. She actually, there's a movie I keep getting ads for called, like, Scare Me. It's on, like, Shudder. I think it's made by some, like, comedian or something like that. And she's in it. And I just, like, saw her. I'm like, oh, yeah, I keep getting these ads. I didn't recognize it was her, though, because she doesn't have that stupid Skrillex haircut. I think that's the one thing throughout the show. I'm like, oh, clearly she did that to appear more, like, modern and stuff like that. But just the whole time I'm imagining a Nazi back in the day with, like, it would have been so great if when they, like, cut to the picture of her marrying, who was she married to, like, Goebbels or something? Yeah, that's what it was. She was married to Joseph Goebbels. But, like, when they show that picture
She's married
of her,
to Joseph Mengele.
if she just still had the, like,
The
cut
Skrillex
just back
haircut?
in the 40s.
No, that's probably the Hollywood magic that they did. They just made her. She parted her hair over to that side.
She always knew that was going to take off one day. She was just a little off on timing.
Yeah, she was really ahead of the curve in all the trends. That's why she's hip with the kids and why she has all of her fucking boomer memes going out to Facebook. I saw some post on like Diabolical posting or like Seven posting on Facebook that like the people that are making her memes and it just like shows a bunch of old people around a computer. It's like, yeah, those are her college buddies.
Her daughter had dementia.
Yeah.
But yes, as you were saying about Christ on a bike.
Okay, so
Shits on a street.
Yeah, shits on a shingle.
That's the sequel. Christ on a bike 2, shits on a street.
Yeah, Christ on a bike, shitting on the street. So it takes place in India. So anyway, again, kids dressed as Jesus Christ rob banks, and they're dressed. Yeah, I already mentioned they're dressed like Jesus, and they get away with it every single time. That's the fucking kicker.
They can't keep getting away with it.
It can't. Sam Hyde playing the main character. They hide out in an abandoned church, and they were adopted by Father John Misty, the singer. But he's not played by Father John Misty. He's played by Joaquin Phoenix. And it turns out the twist halfway through the movie, or towards like the final act, is that Father John Misty actually kidnapped them from a Jews for Jesus as synagogue type program. And that's all I have for it. I just thought the name was funny.
And you even found a way to work in
kidnapping.
Comedy legend Father John Misty. Father John Misty is to comedy what Mariah Carey is to comedy. A joke I stole from Drew Carey on an episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Father John Misty is the comedy what Carlos Mencia is the comedy. A fucking hack.
Well, I do. That's Drew Carey is not somebody I would often classify as like that funny, but that is one of the funniest things I've ever heard say. It's just like somebody. I think it was like Variety or somebody wrote an article. Drew Carey is to comedy what Mariah Carey is to comedy. But yeah, so wow, we got through 2 pitches after all, and we totally didn't spend more time on the one than the other.
No, that's fine.
I think that's a good way to operate, just sort of like, because I mean, some of the ideas I threw your way for like our first few episodes, I'm like, is this anything? But yeah, so that was us talking about that, and that was you losing the last little bit of your sanity as you came along this ride with us.
Yeah, that was us just like slowly poisoning you.
Is there anything you want to, since, you know, we kind of talk about media and stuff like that, and I think we both like check out a lot of media. Yeah. Is there anything you want to recommend to people? Like maybe something for the spooky season or something like that? I've been terrible at fucking watching like anything lately. Like I keep meaning to watch fucking Haunting of Bly Manor.
Yeah.
I still gotta watch. I think I only saw like the first 2 episodes of Hill House. So even though they're not related, I gotta fucking finish that.
Yeah, dude, I hadn't even seen Hill House. I did see Greg Sestero was in the first episode of.
Yeah, he plays like a serious role in Bly
Yeah.
Manor. Like so, I really want to check it out now. I mean, I like Mike Flanagan stuff. He did like Oculus and Doctor Sleep and Hush.
Yeah.
So like, and I enjoyed the first 2 episodes I saw of Hill House, but it's just one of those things where like he's got what I like about his style is it's that very slow burn type thing. But like when you're doing a movie that's a slow burn, like eventually you hit that like the acts, like it goes in the next act and things start getting a little quicker. Like Hereditary is a pretty slow burn, but by that final act, like she's just fucking going insane.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it does have that initial shock in the beginning.
Boom.
Yeah, bonk.
Spoilers for Hereditary.
The thing that happens within the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Well, that's the thing. I'm so happy they didn't, like, the marketing for everything. It just makes it look like Toni Collette's just broken up about her grandma's funeral.
Yeah.
And I think I didn't even piece it together when I was watching the movie. I'm like, oh, maybe they just cut footage or whatever. And then all that shit happens, and you're just like, ah.
Yeah, dude, like the primordial guttural scream of a mom losing her kid is like probably like that was one of the best fucking things ever. Like in terms of like not the best thing ever. Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah, I get off on moms losing their kids. It's every parent's dream to outlive their children, as you know. But
yeah, no, the fact that she didn't get like any like awards for that's fucking bullshit. Like, that fucking "I'm Your Mother" scene.
Yeah,
like that's the thing that could like easily like she has that line like or, that stupid face on your face.
Yeah,
it's the type of thing that could be like kind of funny.
Yeah,
but just the fact like it's like that you feel like you're getting yelled at by your mom and you're like I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's very naturalistic sounding dialogue when it comes to like your mom just like like grasping at straws as what to even fucking yell at you because she's so beside herself. She's so fucking pissed off. Not that I would know. I have a great relationship with my mom.
There's a fucking. I think my favorite line in that whole movie is when they're like looking at the thing and fucking Gabriel Byrne just looks like goes, "What language even is that?"
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like one of those things where I'm like, I don't know if that was just worded weirdly, because like a lot of times I'll be writing a script and I'll read back something I wrote when I'm editing it, and I'm like, is that thing? Do I speak English?
Well, yeah, dude. Like. Horror and comedy are very like kind of towing the line with each other. They're like fucking flirting with each other all the time, and it's like
I think those are the 2 hardest genres to get right because to truly reliably make somebody laugh or truly scare them are 2 of the hardest things to do, especially like in a movie or something.
Yeah, and when you pull off both at the same time, like a Shaun of the Dead, like it wasn't necessarily a scary movie. I did see it as a kid though. It was like 2004. It did kind of spook me. Like the effects in that movie were really good, and like it was very tense. It was a very like choke pointy kind of movie.
Well, even in like Hot Fuzz, like the comedy scenes are great and like
the movie's kind of.
But when the scenes when the fucking like people are getting murdered, those are like, legitimately horrifying.
Yeah, it's almost structured as a horror movie. Then it turns back into an action movie. Well, it's like a murder mystery, then a horror movie, a suspense thriller, and then it turns into a fucking balls out action movie. Some of the greatest fucking action choreography I've seen up until World's End.
Fucking, it's one of my favorite moments in that. It's just when he just slams down something in the swear box. Leslie Tiller was fucking murdered.
Hell yeah, dude.
Just thing like girls' bathrooms, just like, oh, you look beautiful, whatever, like that. Boys' bathrooms. Leslie Tiller was fucking murdered. But
yeah, I recommend the Cornetto trilogy for the spooky season. No,
honestly, I'd recommend people watch that fucking whenever. I think Edgar Wright's actually working on a horror movie, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, dude.
But the people always say that. Quentin Tarantino's like, I want to make a horror movie. It's like, are you making a horror movie? You're making a Star Trek movie? Or you're making a Kill Bill sequel that doesn't count towards your 10 total or whatever? Like, make up your mind.
Yeah.
And stop looking at my feet.
Yeah, gross. Yeah, get out of here, Dan Schneider. Fucking, no, what I was going to say was about the Hereditary thing and like how that kind of tied into the, Charlie Kaufman recently did, you were mentioning it earlier, I'm thinking of ending things. And it was kind of structured like a horror movie in that it had like the tension and again, the awkward, like very naturalistic sounding dialogue with everyone stuttering and talking over each other and all that shit.
And then briefly becoming a 1930s, like...
And then transcontinental transcontinental fucking midway. Step on up, kiddo.
Step on up and see if you can make this bell, make this mallet hit this bell.
And
Bing. Oh, you did it. You gotta do it 3 times, though, in order to win a prize. Oh, am I allowed to go again? Absolutely not.
And then just crushing someone's head with the big mallet, like Gallagher.
But, yes, as you were saying about thinking, ding, 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 ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
I turned into, that's how it happens. You have
Turning
a
into
stroke and you
Crazy
turn
Frog?
into Crazy Frog. But you were saying about it.
It's good. I had a good discussion with you. I had a good discussion with other friends about
It's a
it.
good discussion movie.
It absolutely is. It's you know, I mean, I watched YMS after I saw it because I needed to have my opinion about my own movie that I saw spoon-fed to me.
Yes.
And basically, he just kind of, I don't know if it's a confirmation bias thing, but a lot of the stuff that he said is like, yeah, I totally agree.
It's one of those things that, like, and I think this is the type of movie I enjoy, and I think this is also the type of movie I try to make, is when it's explained to you, like, even if you don't get it, you kind of, like, you have enough to enjoy it.
The ambiguity is a good part of that movie.
Yeah, and when it does get explained to you, like, things make sense. It's not one of those things where it's like some movies just end on a note and they're like, they pull a Neil Breen and they're like,
Yeah.
you tell me what it meant. Fucking loser. But,
You tell me what you think the budget is.
you're so smart. You think you know movie. You tell me what it means. No, tell me.
You so smart. You so loyal. I'm eternally grateful. I appreciate you.
You betrayed us.
Please go. I will go donate to your Kickstarter and to give you a used Toyota Corolla.
But yeah, it's like the movie Enemy, for example. It's one of those things where it's like you watch it, and I think that's one of those movies that half the audience, when you watch it, will hate, and half the audience will like, as evidenced by the fact that half the people I've shown it to hated it, and half the people I've shown it to liked it. But
Yeah.
it's one of those movies that ends on the note where you're kind of like, oh, what the fuck did any of that mean?
Yeah.
And but if you like look into it, or even if you just think about it, like it all makes sense. Yeah, like the metaphors there. It's like I like when people do things that like certain metaphor, because the whole thing with that is there's a lot of images of spiders,
Yeah.
which is weird that I like the movie so much because I fucking hate seeing spiders in any form. But like that's why I haven't played, like I played so much more Fallout than I ever have like Skyrim or anything like
Yeah.
that. Because I remember I was playing Skyrim, and I'm like, oh, I'll go do one of these first missions. You walk into a cave, and there's a giant spider, and I'm like, no, I'm good, and I just left, and I didn't do that.
Giant scorpions, however, that's my shit.
For some reason, it doesn't bother me. I don't know why. Like,
I don't
they
know.
still got that creepy movement thing. That's what the main thing I don't like about spiders. But,
Yeah, as a kid, I was never scared of spiders. I never had any, like, a lot of people say irrational fears. Like, my brother was afraid of clowns or, like, eyeballs or something. He had nightmares about eyeballs that had legs or something.
Buck Shotsky's brother, Eyebally.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's like, I think spiders can be a rational fear. They're not generally. Like,
Yeah.
it's a rational fear if you're, like, in a room with a tarantula.
Yeah.
Where it's like a just random tarantula that can actually, like attack you. But most spiders, it's like you see a fucking tiny spider crawling on your floor.
Yeah,
Not
no.
that big a deal.
Yeah, no. Unless you live in Australia where you actually have something to be afraid of.
Yeah, no, there's like, those are the spiders that like, I have this like scar on my arm where it's like I might have been bitten by a brown recluse. It might have been a staph infection. But the fact that like the symptoms are similar enough, that's kind of hard to tell. It's like, they just like liquefy you. But like in fucking like Australia, it's like you got those real like terrifying ones because nothing's supposed to live there.
Yeah, dude. No human's supposed to live there.
And no humans do. It's all
No.
up front. Australia is not real.
Oh, I thought you were going to be a huge racist.
No, I mean Australia was a prison colony that we just kind of. That's the thing.
So now you're discriminating against the poor.
Well, that's the thing that's interesting is why Australia has some like they've got some civil issues that can kind of rival our own over here, and a big reason for that is the reason certain ideologies are able to spread over in America is because like how it's like, oh, the streets are paved with gold over there, you got to go over there. There's actually books talking about this. The people who went over there came over here was like, oh, that was a fucking lie. The people
So
who
that was a fucking lie.
the people who still have money and influence and stuff just left, and then all like the poor people had to stay, and so that's like just it's like, well, we're not sending our best.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with Australia. It's like, well, we're literally sending people who already broke our rules, our fancy rules. So things might we'll see how things shake out. We'll see if this becomes an Escape from New York situation. That movie exists right now, right? What's a movie?
Man, England really fucked everything up. And then they fucked up their fuck up by like letting everything go.
Make up your mind, England. But,
Yeah, be like the French. They at least know what they are, even if they're huge cowards.
But, you were saying about Hereditary, I think?
I think we went past that onto, I'm thinking of ending things. I recommend
That's right.
it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I don't know. There weren't a lot of movies that came out because for some reason, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
But, we did see in the theaters. Oh, we got to talk about our movie going experience at the drive-in in fucking Bethlehem, dude.
Oh, where we ate fried chicken and saw Tenet.
Hell yeah.
We laid in the back of my car. My car radio doesn't work, and that's how drive-in theaters work now, is they broadcast to your radio. So I had to go rent a little radio from them. And that thing was powerful.
It was,
I was only on like 20 or something like that. That thing could have went much louder.
Yeah.
And we watched Tenet. We ate fried chicken from KFC, and we would occasionally look over at the lot next to ours where they were playing both Spider-Man movies, like both the most recent ones. And also, it was a 2-movie ticket, and I guess this is a good note to leave on. I would say maybe go see this movie, but I don't think there's anywhere where you can see this movie right now. And that movie, War with Grandpa, overtook it at the box office. Oh, I love the future. But
yeah, you have this. On the one hand, you have this piece of art with a director that's known for these, very imaginative cinematography experiences, and then you have a Christopher Nolan film.
Yes. But we saw it was a 2-movie ticket when we went to this theater, and it was like by the time Tenet was over, it was already like 11 anyway.
We were fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
And we had another hour to go back home.
Yeah, we still had to drive like an hour back. And the second movie on the ticket was the movie Unhinged with Russell Crowe. And the best part about this movie is in the lead up to this movie, to try and coax people to get back into theaters for this movie nobody gives a shit about.
Well, can you explain what the movie's about before we get into the best part about it?
Russell Crowe is unhinged. I think he's just a guy who just keeps going on rampages.
Yeah, it's an autobiography.
I think it's just fighting around the world. Well, in the thing, he looks in the thumbnail for the trailer. He looks like a corpse.
He looks like the corpse of John Goodman.
It's what's it about?
Unhinged is directed by Derek Bort. My son's also named
My
Bort.
son's also named Bort. It tells the story of a young woman who is terrorized by a seemingly unstable stranger following a road rage incident.
Why is the screenplay button on Wikipedia? Oh wait, no, that's not a button. I just thought there was a link for screenplay and that was purple and the rest of it was blue.
You can just go read the screenplay for Unhinged.
It was theatrically released by Solstice. Everyone praised performances by Russell Crowe, but it didn't take full advantage of the premise. What's the fucking premise, you hack? Tom Cooper, a mentally unstable man, invades the home of his ex-wife and kills her and her boyfriend before setting the house on fire and drives away as the house explodes. So go check out Unhinged.
That's a great way to open the movie. Well, the movie just ends there. But yeah, so in the lead up to this movie, there were like social media badges you could claim, like by being like, oh, I saw Unhinged in a fucking theater. And we really like to make our own badge, like, we didn't see Unhinged and we had already paid to do so.
Yeah, joke's on them.
I mean, I think that would really drive a lot of people to the theaters. But
literally, they have to drive there. It's a drive-in.
Yeah, so I guess go see War with Grandpa. I haven't been watching a lot of things. I've been playing a lot of Doom 2016, so go play that or go play Doom Eternal.
Hell yeah.
They're pretty fun. But yeah, so this has been a thing. This has been Pitch Shift. This is a show where we do this. If you want, go check us out on, or well, you're probably already checking us out on something, but check us out on Spotify, TuneIn, iTunes, Facebook. We got a Twitter. We got a YouTube. We're going to be putting full episodes up on the YouTube. We're going to be doing little edited videos on my channel over at Ace Backspace, so go check that out. We already got one of those up. And yeah, we're gonna set up. We have an email. What is our email?
PitchShiftPC@gmail.com.
PitchShiftPC@gmail.com. So either on our Facebook, on our Twitter, or on our email. If you have suggestions for pitches, send them our way. We can't guarantee that we'll use them, but we can guarantee that whatever you come up with is probably no worse than the things that our brain farts out.
Well, then we'll probably have to end up using it because we're hacks. One other quick announcement. We will soon start streaming games based on, because we were having an upcoming episode talking about our own shitty video game movies. So we're going to pitch our own shitty video game movie, and then we're going to like play the games that we're talking about. Mostly Doom. And,
yes.
And because it's spoopy season, I'm thinking Resident Evil. What do you think about that?
I could do that. I mean, I think the hardest part there is opening the can of worms that is the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah, dude.
We'll get Resident Evil. We'll get our Resident Evil expert Medina on.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna call it Anded and Stevel. But yeah, dude, Medina. I was hanging out again once for the third time this episode. Shout outs to Kenny. We were hanging out at his house with his racist fucking guard dog, and we were kind of pre-gaming, waiting to like kick his family out. By which I mean out of the house completely. No, we were waiting to kick him upstairs so we could like hog the living room for like 20 hours to fucking play Street Fighter or something. And then for whatever reason we were talking about like we should talk about the Street Fighter movie, but we were talking about the Resident Evil movies. Yeah, the Legend of Chun-Li, dude. But yeah, no.
Couldn't be further in tone and execution. I mean, they're both shit, but well, one's fun.
Yeah, one's fun. It has Raul Julia.
Game over.
But yeah, no. So like Medina was telling me, we were all pre-gaming outside smoking cigarettes, and I was like, yeah, you know, Resident Evil movies are good fun, I guess. Thankfully, there's only 3 of them. And he's like, no, dude, there's 6. I'm like, 6? But the fucking world ended after 2. It's called Afterlife or some shit, or Apocalypse. It's called Resident Evil Apocalypse. That's one that Nemesis or some shit. And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I watched all of them. I'm like, you poor fucking soul.
It's like imagine going to somebody like right after Transformers 3 comes out, like you go back in time and you're like, hey, there's gonna be like in total there's gonna be like 6 of these things. Someone's gonna be like, what? No. That's how they got Mark Wahlberg in the movie. They fucked up. It's like there's gonna be 6 of these. And it's gonna be like, what? No.
Yo, Marky Mark, we saw you in The Happening, and we thought you had the perfect emotional range in order to play our lead character in Transformers. But I was horrible in that movie. Exactly.
You're perfect. But yeah, so stay tuned. We got lots more cool things coming down the pipeline. You can check us out on all that stuff. Go support us. Really means so much that people are actually enjoying this and listening to it and enjoying it. Should switch those around. You enjoy it first and then you listen to it. It's just a prerequisite of knowing us.
You gotta hype yourself up before. You gotta just like lie to us and say that you like it.
Yes, you gotta enable us. And then give us a gun. But yeah, so thanks so much for listening, guys, and I guess watching. I did record this whole thing, so I should probably put that up somewhere. But
yeah, leave those first 12 minutes in, dude.
I'm only uploading the first 12 minutes. Just none of the good audio. Just
no audio.
No, there's audio on that. It's just gonna be fucking awful. But I can take it out. Well, whatever.
That's
anyway, thanks so much for doing that, guys. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. If you're on those other things, follow us. I think that's what you do. Thanks so much for checking it out, and we will see you in the next one.
Itadakimasu.